Before Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, I figured it might be a good time to revisit Kong Skull Island on 4K Blu-ray. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you're into home theater and watching new movies, consider tapping that subscribe button for new weekly videos. This isn't going to be a review on the movie itself. I'm just going to share with you some of my thoughts on the video and the audio quality. Now let's go over a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 2.8K. There's also a post-converted 3D version. It's got a 2K DI. It's rated PG-13. Runtime is 118 minutes. And the aspect ratio is 239:1. So there will be black letterbox bars. Kong Skull Island has a look that was inspired by Apocalypse Now. Per the cinematographer Larry Fong, they were interested in capturing this kind of classic 70s look, rather than just taking all their references from other monster movies. They also had a special anamorphic lens created just for this movie to give it a more vintage feel. Since they were going for this specific look, you shouldn't go in expecting a 4K crispy transfer. Now, despite being shot on digital, it does have a filmic appearance. It skews on the soft side, and I didn't find it was a major departure from the standard Blu-ray as far as detail, but there are differences nonetheless. Kong's fur was noticeably more textural, with each strand of hair cleanly rendered, and there were times you could even make out the little bugs flying around his body. The giant walking stick creature is so well done, the detail on its bark is just as natural looking as the surrounding trees in the background. Now, even though these are make-believe digital monsters, they've always blended in well with the live-action elements of this movie. And I never got a feeling that the added resolution gave the digital effects an artificial feeling or took me out of the experience. Not only does the CGI come across well-defined, but so does the real-life practical stuff. You got beads of sweat that drip down Loki's forehead, and the nuanced textures on costumes reveal even more detail. Where this does take it up a notch above the standard Blu-ray is the HDR. There's more vibrancy to the color palette with reds and golden hues, giving this movie a warm, hot, you're out in the rainforest feel. Bright highlights edge on being too hot, but elevate specular highlights. That napalm scene will have you breaking out your sunglasses. Black levels are richly dark and contrasty and make the image pop. I didn't notice any crush in the nighttime scenes or clipping in the daytime scenes. Audio is in Dolby Atmos, and whether you enjoy this movie for its plot or not, there's no denying this movie shines for its audio mix, or rather, its audio aggressiveness. This is one of the most surround explosive soundtracks out there. Right from the opening logos, you'll be surrounded by a couple planes chasing each other in every single one of your speakers. If the first 20 seconds sounded this good, you know you're going to be in for a good treat. The first encounter with Kong will have you ducking from chopper blades above your head and bodies flying through the air. Watch out! Bullets whiz by the lower channels, and there are a few times you can hear Kong breathing in the top channels while his feet stomp down below in the front soundstage. During that graveyard scene, those skull crawlers will move in 360 degrees very creepily in the lower speakers around and behind you. And when the action kicks in, you're going to be blown away by the sheer amount of bass during the explosions. I also forgot to mention when Kong starts running, you might feel your insides moving. This movie has ample bass down to 20 Hz and lower. Now, even during the quieter moments, every channel is active with ambiance. Since this takes place out in the rainforest, you'll hear insects and birds flying around, and the soundstage is pretty huge. It matches perfectly what you're seeing on screen, and dialogue was always clean and easy to hear. So for audio, I'm going to keep it the same as my original score. I'm going to go with a 10. It's a straight demo-worthy mix. It's got aggressive high channel activity, and the lower channels get worked out just as much. Bass is killer, and could destroy many smaller subwoofers. If you've got a good enough system, this movie is worth it just for the audio. For video, I'm going to go with an 8.5. It's not the sharpest movie out there, nor was it ever going to be. It's got that vintage vibe, and it can be both cinematically soft, and other times it can be pretty darn detailed. The HDR makes this transfer pop, and if you're someone that likes eye-blinding brightness, there's going to be a ton of stuff in here to see. So with the impending release of Godzilla vs. Kong, this movie is kind of a must-watch. I think it's a fun popcorn flick and a must-own if you've got a killer home theater system and you need something to show off. Oh, and the 3D version is pretty good too. It's too bad the audio on that is only in 5.1. So those are my thoughts on Kong Skull Island on 4K. Did you think the audio deserves a 10, and are you looking forward to the sequel? Leave a comment and let us know. Now, if you want to grab this disc, I'll leave some links for it down below in the video's description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want, you can follow us on social media. And if you want to support the channel and get exclusive content or great discounts on audio and video gear, then stop by our Patreon page. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again in the next video.